New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Yes, the secret but cold radio room this evening. Do you know it's 4 degrees above zero? And even though that we have the heat on here in the top secret bunker, it's still cold. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. I am the Reverend Michael Mangus, broadcasting this evening from the top secret radio room in the super secure concrete bunker that is so top secret. Only one person knows where it's at. Everyone else, especially that Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, who may show up this evening, especially him. And I think Jeff doesn't know either, but we'll talk to him about that. They have no clue where the concrete bunker is located, and we are going to keep it that way. And as I told my boss earlier, I said, Rev Doc, there are some days during the week I don't want to see you. Yes. Anyhow, we have a wonderful show for you this evening. And again, we welcome all of our guests here. Please feel free to interact with us by posting your comment on either Facebook or on YouTube. And again, my shy people out there. Yeah, I know. You don't want your name associated with this. I get that. pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. You can email me during the week. And also, if you have a topic that you'd like me to bring up, please feel free to go ahead and to share that. Now, the reason we do this on a weekly basis is because I have to give Reverend Jeff something to do. No. We do this on a weekly basis because we want you all to have a new thought about what is going on in the world. From talking to people during the week, again, there's a lot of fear, and that we need to be the light of the world in all of this seemingly dark times. So that's the reason why we do this show. We present the news in a humorous way, hopefully, and in a way that keeps you informed, yet not overwhelm you. Yes, from the great state of Tennessee, which will be frozen this weekend.
No, it's not.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that here in a moment. And originally from the greater state of West Virginia, it is the Reverend Jeff Radcliff.
Hey, you notice anything different?
You got your beard trimmed.
Oh, God, no.
What?
You don't.
You have a picture up.
Yes. It's
Okay.
different than what's been there before. a friend of mine in Michigan, her sister lives in Florida, I believe.
Okay.
And so my friend in Michigan asked her sister to paint Lily Rose's portrait.
Aw.
And it arrived today. It was delayed for almost a week because of the damn storm that we had, a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything's shut down here. I mean, it's finally starting to get back to normal. Have you seen the pictures for out of Nashville?
No, we were going to talk about that here in a few moments, but
It's
go ahead.
it's just incredible. Now, the county that I live in, which is a couple of counties away, actually, from Davidson, where Nashville is,
Yes.
we're finally getting back into shape. Some of the surrounding counties, I'm not sure what's up with their infrastructure, but they're shut down. There are still people in Nashville 6 days later, 5 days later, that have no power.
Wow.
One of our colleagues, if I mention her name, you would probably know her, but I won't mention her.
All right.
But tree fell on her house, and
Okay.
it ripped. Not only did it rip the power lines down, but it ripped the meter box out of the wall. Now, the power company is responsible for the wiring going into the house.
Right.
The homeowner is responsible for
The rest. Yes.
So she's been scrambling to get everything taken care of with the insurance company and get an electrician out there to put in a new box so that the power company can rewire the house, but they still have the tree to get rid of. And then there's the damage to the house, which the tree caused, which is, she could turn the heat on if she had power, and it wouldn't do any good because she's got this big hole in the wall where the tree came through. So it's a mess down here. It looks like a war zone.
So we got 12 inches of white stuff here. And I went ahead.
Ice.
What now?
We got almost that much in ice.
Well, I went ahead and went out on Monday. I went out and I shoveled a path from my back door to the car. And I said, self, this is not my job to do. So Diana, what now?
Especially at your advanced age.
Oh, please. Please. So anyhow, Diana went ahead and she was very resourceful. She found on Facebook young men who were out shoveling snow. And so our driveway and our walks were all done. And it was $80 later.
I got an even better story for you.
Okay.
I put the word out there because right now, I'm still working on some medical things and building myself back up. And so I'm not able to go out there and do that. So I asked if there was somebody there who could get my driveway and my sidewalk cleared off. And this really nice lady contacted me and told me to call this specific agency and see if they could help me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna and I can't remember. I keep forgetting the exact name of these folks because it's really cool. I'm gonna pull them up real quick. They are the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association.
Okay.
So they sent out it's a gang, man. It's a motorcycle gang. They sent 4 combat veterans out here to my house. They work with all they do is if a veteran has a need and expresses the request for help, they come out and they do everything. So they came out on Monday, maybe it was Tuesday.
Now, did you give them $20 each like I did?
No, they didn't ask for anything. It's a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So I'm going to make a donation to their chapter instead.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. And they were out here. It only took them an hour and they had cleared the entire driveway off, laid out the snow melt, the not the ice melt, but the ice. While all the rest of the roads were icky, and in the process of getting better, my
Icky
driveway
is a very technical
it is.
weather term.
It's a southern term. Yeah.
Well, we all know.
It's damn icky, but but my driveway has been, since they cleared it, and it's been a few days now, bone dry.
Isn't that nice? Well, anyhow, we all know why you've tuned in this evening. It's not for the Friday evening fireside chat. Oh, no.
No.
You have tuned in this evening for the award-winning Reverend Jeff's story of the week.
They just want to see me because I'm hot.
and they need to get rid of the snow on their porch.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyhow, when Legal was reviewing your story this week, their comment was, it was inspiring. And Rev Doc, the Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, who may show up this evening.
He has threatened that wisdom.
He spun the wheel of F's for you, and it landed on the infinity sign.
Oh my gosh!
And then Rev Doc said, "Well, then tell Jeff he's only allowed 3."
Aw.
So, but
no, it should be allowed 8 because the infinity sign is 8 turned on its side.
Right. Well, and legal went ahead and they wrote a ruling and said that I have permission to add another 3 F-bombs at my discretion.
I guess
so. I'm going to give that to you again, like I did last week. So you have up to 6 to use.
No, 9. 3 times 3 is 9.
Okay, hold on. 3 plus 3 equals 6.
3 times 3 equals 9.
No, it's.
I learned that in 3rd grade. Shut up. I know what I'm doing.
Well, the temperature outside here is 4 degrees. Above 0.
That's cold.
Yes, and that most of the nation here is going to be dealing with blizzard conditions in parts of the southeast from a powerful bomb cyclone. A rapidly strengthening winter storm known as a bomb cyclone is less than 24 hours away from delivering an unusual amount of snow, damaging winds, and dangerous coastal flooding to parts of the southeast and mid-Atlantic, where they hardly get any snow at all. And the storm is expected to form near the North Carolina coast late on Friday before rapidly strengthening as it moves north on Saturday. As the bomb cyclone intensifies, it will draw very cold air southward, allowing the snow to fall across areas that don't often see significant weather of that type. And this will also increase its winds, particularly along the coast. But wait, there's more.
Well, get on with it, dude.
I'm working on it. It's hard to, I'm producing the show, putting it all together. Anyhow, it's about to get.
You need to send Kleenexes, tissues, anything that will dry his tears.
Oh, please.
To Reverend Michael Mangus.
No, don't.
pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com.
No, don't.
Email him stuff.
Just send me money. It's about to get so cold. You're supposed to say, how cold?
How cold was it going to get?
That Florida's Gulf Coast beaches could see snowflakes.
Ooh.
A new surge of record-breaking Arctic air is sinking south over the eastern half of the U.S. on Friday and dialing up hazardous cold to the extreme all the way to South Florida. Now, they don't know how to handle it down there. We may have to send like Red Cross packages and stuff.
They're even in worse shape than people in Tennessee and Georgia and Alabama are. I mean, we don't see this stuff either, but they see even less of it. But I thought the salt in the air from the ocean kept the snowflakes and stuff from forming.
Well, wind chills, or how the air actually feels to the body, will also crash into lower levels on Sunday morning. Single-digit wind chills are possible as far south as the Orlando area. Now, they're not going to know how to deal with it down there. And frostbite could set in within 2 hours with these extreme wind chills. So our ecclesiastical advice, both Reverend Jeff's and mine this evening, is to stay inside, get a hot beverage, and watch out, especially if you're in Florida, for falling iguanas. Because what happens is after when it starts freezing, the iguanas actually they fall out of the trees. So
and for God's sake, people, if you've got a brass monkey out on your front porch, bring him in.
Why?
Oh, that joke just went right over your head.
All right. Now, why is preparing for this 1 hour? Why has it stretched into 4?
Because some of us know what we're doing and some of us don't.
I don't, well, no. I think because of all the news here. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the news. And now, from SIN, the Spiritual Information Network, this is the Right Reverend reporting. Oh, geez. Unfortunately, there's been another shooting. 2 federal officers fired guns in Alex Freddy's shooting. Initial DHS reports say 2 federal officers fired their guns during Alex Preddy's fatal shooting, according to an initial review by the Department of Homeland Security obtained by NBC News. And both agents were placed on administrative leave, according to the DHS spokesperson. MS Now was first to report on that detail. The DHS report says that during the encounter on January 24th, an officer yelled, "He's got a gun," multiple times, and then approximately 5 seconds later, a Border Patrol agent discharged his Glock 19, and also another Customs and Border Patrol officer also discharged his Glock 47 at Preedy. It's unclear from the report whether the bullets from both officers' gun hit Alex Preedy. So what they've done here is that during the past week is that the Trump administration has tried to demonize this young man who was a very respected VA nurse, that they had video of him kicking an officer's van, busting out the taillights. And that was about like 12 days before the shooting. And so what they're trying to say is that this man, in some form or another, was dangerous, and he posed a threat. I've seen all the videos from different angles. Yes, he did have a firearm on him that he was legally allowed to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so the officers, or one of the officers, took the gun away from him. And then 5 seconds later, then, two of the agents went ahead and shot this man dead. Your comment, Reverend Jeff.
Well, I also saw a report saying that the officer who took the gun from him, he had it behind his back in a I'm assuming in a holster. I would like to think that he was smarter than to just stick it down his waistband, that he would have had a holster. But supposedly the officer who disarmed him walked away and fired into the air, which would have prompted the other guys to start shooting. I don't know. I saw videos and I heard stuff, but I didn't hear anything like that. And but it's one of the theories that's out there. All I know for sure is that this guy was flat on his, he was flat down on the ground.
Yes.
He was on his stomach. There was no way that he could have reached for his weapon anyway.
No, they took the weapon from
Yeah, I mean, even if he couldn't have reached it anyway at that point where he was. Right. There was just no way. So,
well, as reported by NBC News, Trump this week removed confrontational Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bovino from the scene in Minneapolis on Monday, and he sent in Border Czar Tom Holman.
Now, there have been some really good jokes about that.
Well, I have a couple of them. He also spoke by phone, this is Trump, to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and also to Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, Democrats that he has harshly criticized in the past about turning down the temperature. On Thursday, Holman admitted that operations in the state could be improved, and he called on local leaders to work together with federal agents to tone down the dangerous rhetoric. So let us all pray for peace here in Minneapolis, in St. Paul, and for our country. Bringing in Tom Holman, though, may not cool the situation down. A commentator said this week that bringing in Mr. Holman is the equivalent of pooping your pants and then changing your shirt instead.
Yeah.
Again, folks, your voice is extremely powerful here. So we are, again, encouraging you to keep on keeping on, calling your representatives, telling them that enough is enough, and that we have, 10 months until the 2026 midterm elections. Make sure that you are signed up to vote. Check your registration. That's going to be very important. You can do that now. And check it right before you go and vote, especially in November. This is going to be very important. The Trump administration, from reports, is trying their best to mess up and to skew this election. And so, again, we're asking everyone here to please vote. And that if you have a primary in your state or an election earlier, like April or May, is to go and practice. Go and vote. And make sure, again, that you do it. You take your ID, you go ahead and you do it properly so that your vote counts.
Take your voter identification card, your registration card, your driver's license, your passport. Take whatever you need, because they're going to start asking for everything. Before it's all over and done with, you're going to have to give a blood sample and maybe pass a urine test in order to prove who you are.
Isn't that crazy?
This is outrageous.
And then they have the guts enough to go ahead and to arrest Don Lemon and another journalist for covering the church demonstration a couple weeks ago. So 2 independent journalists, Don Lemon and also Georgia Fort, have been arrested in connection with a protest at a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. First Amendment advocates and civil rights organizations condemned the arrest and argue that President Donald Trump is trying to chill press freedoms in the U.S. Lemon and Fort were live streaming as dozens of anti-immigration and custom enforcement protesters rushed into City's church on January 18th, interrupting a church service and then leading to tense confrontations. Now, the breaking news is that both have been released. Don Lemon had a hearing this afternoon in Los Angeles area, and he was released on his own recognizance. So I'm not sure if Georgia Fort was done the same way, whereas she did not have to put up any bail. But from the press conference this afternoon, where Don Lemon spoke, he said that him and his legal team are going to go all the way with this, and that they're going to put up a very vigorous defense. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
Well, I have broken my promise to myself on several occasions to stay out of the comment sections of some of these news stories, because it's ugly, it's vicious, it's nasty, it's cruel, the way some of these people express their opinions. And one of the calmer ones that I saw was that, well, Don Lemon should be charged with crimes because he knew about this beforehand. Unfortunately, this person does not seem to realize that, yeah, reporters are often made aware of events taking place so that they can go out and cover them.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, he knew about it in advance, but I never saw him inside the church. All the footage I ever saw of him was outside interviewing people. So,
right.
You know, I don't know where they're getting any of their, ideas that, he was part of the riot itself, or whatever you want to call it, because
right. And that's the reason why that your phone is so powerful. The reason why the government is not getting away with it is because that citizens are filming, and that they're filming it from several different angles, and that the government's narrative has been found false. So,
yeah, but you know what? It's also dangerous too. Look what happened to Mr. Preddy.
Right. And so that's why that, again, I encourage everyone here is, again, take your phone, be careful out there. Don't kick in anyone's taillights or throw snowballs at them.
Yeah, keep your distance, for heaven's sake. I mean, you can zoom in with your phone. Absolutely.
And that, again, that be a part of the solution here. What happened to Alex Preddy should have never happened.
Mm-mm.
Even if he did have a gun, that, again, his hands were up. The only thing that he was holding in his hand or hands was a phone. And they pumped, about 10 shots into him?
10 shots, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. This has to stop. This has to end, period. And that those on Facebook who I've been responding to this week is that they've been saying, my right-wing friends have been saying, well, if they would just obey the law, then they wouldn't end up in a body bag. And to them, I say this: ICE is not doing police work. They're doing and using Gestapo-like tactics, going door to door, stopping people on the streets, asking them for their papers. This has to stop. And again, how it stops is that all of us raise our voice and tell our legislators enough is enough. Your comment, Reverend Jeff.
Yeah, enough is enough. I think that the White House keeps doing its best to set up citizens of this country to be arrested or even killed in an attempt to, throw all kinds of confusion into everything.
Right.
There's so much going on. Their hands are so dirty because it's in so many of these little mud pies that they're making that they've got to keep ramping up the distractions in order to keep us from remembering that there are Epstein files and the fact that Trump has illegally murdered citizens of a foreign country, kidnapped one of their leaders, is antagonizing another nuclear power into maybe a confrontation. It's just mind-boggling.
We have
on top of it, to throw in their vanity shit in the middle of all of it. Trump putting up his name on the Kennedy Center. This big move to publicize this documentary on Melania Trump.
Now, do you have your tickets?
That one.
Do you have your tickets? Are you going this weekend?
Oh. My dog needs her anal glands exposed. I'm busy. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? They like to think that they've got an A-list of celebrities that are going to be there.
Right.
No, they've got A-list. They don't have an A-list. They've got Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz. They've got what's her face? Maria Bartiromo.
Now, are they being given barf bags?
Well, I would hope. Yeah, but they've got all these, and then they've got the regular gang of for the regular oh my gosh, what's the word? The usual suspects, like Secretary of the Liquor Cabinet, Pete Hegseth. I don't know where JD's. I don't know where JD's.
Of the Liquor Cabinet.
Look at yeah.
Hold it. We have here a cold weather tip.
I'm in the middle of a joke here. Don't stop me.
I'm sorry. Did I mess it up?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Well, go ahead with your joke.
Okay. There's my F-bomb. I don't know where JD's going to be. Usha Vance is going to be there. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, RFK Jr. The D-list celebrities. All I know is Bill Maher said that the difference between Scientology and Donald Trump is that Scientology has better celebrities. You may laugh now.
Okay. All right. We have a cold weather tip from Diana Mangus. She says to keep your pipes from freezing, leave a constant slow drip from your cold water. I have been going behind Michael and turning the drip back on. Hi, everyone.
Well, to be fair, Diana, you married the drip, the big drip. He's a good sport about it, though. So there's that.
Anyhow, Diana says,
why are you turning off the drips? You know that if your pipes freeze and then they start to thaw out, they do have the possibility to rupture, right?
I know. Well, it's just, it's that mindfulness thing here. But Diana says, I did see that on the video, yes, the gun in the holster, ice shot in the air, which started the rest of the shooting. Well, again, I think that there needs to be, again, an autopsy done, but it's just sad that American citizens are being killed in the streets, and that this has got to stop here. And a group of clergy this week were arrested for praying. So this kind of civil disobedience, again, in a peaceful manner, will bring about change. And so, again, I encourage everyone, again, to keep up the heat, even though it's colder than blazes outside. Keep up the heat. And this will change around. Well, I think it's time for a break.
Okay.
And then after the break, we will have Reverend Jeff's story of the week. I know I'm not right? No, I'm not. Okay. Well, anyhow, hello there, everyone. Welcome. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. If you're not doing anything on Sunday, join Diana and I at our service, summitcsl.org. That's where you get the information for the Zoom call. We'd love to see you this Sunday. And we are beginning a series on spiritual mind treatment. And this Sunday, we'll have our expert on our call, and that's Dr. Carol Ann Drick, who's a world-class healer. She'll be on the call this coming Sunday. So 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. Please come and join us. All right. We'll be back in just a moment with the award-winning Reverend Jeff's story of the week here on your New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network is excited to present Divine Science Everywhere, Fridays at 2 p.m. Mountain Time and 4 p.m. Eastern. Come explore a modern experience of divine science. With Reverend Joy Fletcher, Reverend Jeff Radcliff, and Bishop Durrell Watkins. Join us as we open our eyes to divine science everywhere we look. Fridays on New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hepperlin Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
Yes, we also have another comment from Diana. She said, Jeff, I love your big drip comment. All right.
I live to serve.
Okay.
What can I say?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the award-winning and ever popular Reverend Jeff's story of the week.
And of course, once again, there's no music, so I guess I'll have to.
I told you, I just don't feel jingly. I mean, there's just been some serious news here.
Well, that's why we need to lighten shit up a little bit.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Well, I will write that down here. I will play Jeff's jingle next week. Okay.
We've been talking a lot about civil disobedience, as well as the things that we can do in order to make our country better, registering to vote, writing letters, things of that nature. I have a really cool story. Out of Williston, Vermont. It's a hotbed these days of political activity. Numerous protests going on. Don't be showing my pictures quite yet. I'm not ready for them yet. Last week, 5-member town select board unanimously passed the first known resolution in the state condemning the surveillance and enforcement actions of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which operates 2 large facilities in the town. And not only do they have 2 ICE facilities in Williston, Vermont, but in the county that Williston is in, there are another 10 different ICE facilities there. And so the town has passed this. It's the first known resolution in the state condemning ICE. It's symbolic. It's not got any legal standing to it, but it shows where the mindset of the people who live there. It shows where their heads are at. Students at the University of Vermont have staged some really raucous anti-ICE protests. Last month, a meditation group gathered to peacefully protest. They had an hour-long meditative sit-in to condemn the deportation of Vermont residents. But that's not the story I want to tell you. Now you can put up a picture. Last Thursday, the 22nd, at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a group of about a dozen Vermont community elders with whistles entered the atrium of the Whitecap Office Park in Williston, which is where ICE's National Criminal Analysis and Targeting Center is located. And for the next 3.5 hours, they sat in silence, pausing every 90 seconds to read the name of someone killed by ICE in custody, and then they followed it by a loud whistle blast. Williston police were called. They arrived about a half an hour after they got there, asked the protesters to leave and stop making noise, and a lot of the group left. A core group of 5 elderly people refused, remained in the atrium, and they had with them a medic as well as a physical therapist. Now, about 2 o'clock, the property manager and landlord, by the name of Normand Stanislaus, arrived and just started screaming at these people that he was going to have them arrested. Well, about 3:15, the Williston police announced that they determined that the protesters weren't breaking any laws and they were acting within their First Amendment rights, and so they declined to arrest anybody. And of course, the group had already stopped blowing their whistles just to sit in front of the ICE office doors, which you see right there. If you take a look at the gentleman on the left, you'll notice he's got a white cane. So he's blind. So Williston police left, and then several DHS agents approached the group, threatened to charge them with Class C federal misdemeanors. But they didn't actually do anything because they really didn't have the authority to do it. They attempted to physically remove the elders and carry them away from the doors. They took them out and put them on the sidewalk, and those little old people just kind of toddled back up to the door and sat right back down. So eventually the DHS agents left. They stayed there. They continued their protest. They had banners. They had singing until the sun began to set and it started to get dark and it was cold. And that's when they left the park on their own accord. But this protest follows several months of public outcry against the two ICE facilities in Williston, one of which is used to monitor civil social media activity. And it targets, and yeah, they're looking for people to target for detention and deportation. And one of the participants, a little 70-year-old lady by the name of Dorothy, said that the facility was staffing up to spy on people via social media, and that they were building dossiers on anybody who protested and opposed fascism. And so she said to stifle dissent, to trample our right to free speech. And they weren't having it. Now, keep in mind that these are people in their 70s and their 80s who 50, 60 years ago, in the 60s and the 70s, were out there raising all kinds of hell with the Vietnam War and all this other kind of stuff going on. These are seasoned protesters, okay? They've been there. They've done it. They risked arrest for last Thursday's sit-in, but they weren't representatives of any club or group or organization. They were just community members concerned with the safety of their neighbors. And so they expressed hope that their actions would help others to find the courage necessary to get ICE out of Williston. It's my hope that they inspire people across the country to do their part to help get ICE out of their communities as well. We owe these folks a great debt of gratitude. And if you've been in Vermont in the wintertime, it's damn nippy out there. So I'm surprised that they were able to get up and walk with their arthritis. But you know what? They did it. They did it anyway.
That's why Legal said it was so inspiring.
Yeah. and it's just what you and I keep telling people. We need to do our part. Because even if these folks were in a home somewhere or in their own home and unable to get out and do something, you can still write letters. You can still make phone calls. You can still inspire others to go out and do what they can do. Everybody can do something.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was Reverend Jeff's story of the week. Week. Very inspirational.
Yeah.
And you haven't used any of your F-bombs.
I used one. I think you didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it. Yeah, okay.
I didn't use it during the story though. But I could have.
Well, I'll tell you what, to distract from everything today, they actually did, the Justice Department actually released at least 3 million pages of files related to the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein today. And guess what? There's another 3 million pages that are missing.
Mm-hmm. And how many out of this 3 million can you actually read without having all that black ink all over it?
The documents contain references to President DT and other powerful figures, including Elon Musk, Bill Clinton, and a former Obama White House counsel. An FBI list of allegations related to Trump, many of which appear to have come from unverified tips, is among the new documents. The White House referred CNN to a Justice Department statement that called the claims unfounded and false. Trump has long denied wrongdoing in connection to Epstein. But here, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said that the department has now completed its review of the Epstein files and that the White House had no oversight of the process. Now, it was extremely interesting today is that Attorney General Pam Bondi wasn't there. She was MIA. She went ahead and she...
Out, I think.
What?
She's on her way out, I think.
Again, the video was noticeable because it came minutes after Todd Blanche had left the podium at a press conference 2 floors above her to discuss the department's long-awaited completion of a review of millions of documents from the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
Well, I keep, like I said, I can't stay out of the comment sections of some of these news stories. And they talk about the Epstein files, and then you've got the folks on the right-hand side of the aisle who keep saying, well, Bill Clinton's in them. Bill Clinton's in them. Well, Bill Clinton might be in the files, and he may have had that unfortunate incident in the White House back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But he has not been accused by any of the victims of any wrongdoing. And when you stop and think of all the other people who are in the files, Oprah is in the files. Whoopi Goldberg, for God's sake, is in the files. Anybody who ever met or came within 5 feet or 10 feet or however much of Jeffrey Epstein has been recorded as being there in his presence and is in the files. That doesn't mean they did anything.
Right.
They keep trying to deflect. It's become a classic GOP tactic. And we know that everything that Donald Trump accuses somebody else of doing, he has already done or is fixing to do. Okay? So, it's just deflection, pure and simple. It's amazing to me.
Well, coming up here, we have a story from the great state of Ohio. As Springfield, Ohio's 15,000 Haitians race for deportations, local churches trained to resist ICE last weekend. Inside the sanctuary last weekend of a large church down in Springfield, hundreds of trainees blocked the large wooden double doors. One called out, "We're exercising our First Amendment rights to freedom of worship." Now, hold it here. I thought that was against the law.
What?
To do that. Based upon what happened to Don Lemon.
It's funny how selective their law enforcement is, don't you think?
Yeah, well, the scenario was a part of a role play exercise at a rapid response training in Springfield, Ohio, last Saturday. Despite the winter storm and the forecast, nearly 200 people from and in and around the Springfield area gathered at Central Christian Church for an event that's organized by G92. And that's a Springfield-based coalition of pro-immigrant churches and advocates named after the 92 times that the Hebrew word ger, which means stranger or sojourner, appeared in the Hebrew Bible. The Reverend Carl Ruby said, for many people, this isn't just a political issue. It's also a spiritual issue. Now, my boss, the Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, he does not think that we are going to be targeted here in Ohio because that we are a state that voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm. No, he's wrong. He's wrong because I live in Blood Red, Tennessee, and ICE has already been doing their stuff in Memphis. They've already been doing their stuff in Nashville. They're all over the place. It may not get as bad as Minneapolis, but ICE has been here in Tennessee. So I don't think any place is immune.
They put in a local online news website about 200 people gathered here in Akron to where I live in North Hill, Akron, that surrounding us is a very diverse community, mainly of individuals who are Nepalese and also are of Mexican descent in and around the area. So there's pockets of people that are getting ready to do a Minneapolis if necessary. And so again, I think that and there is a big difference here between what ICE did during the Biden administration and also during Barack Obama's term, which was they did targeted law enforcement activity like law enforcement does. They go in, they have a warrant, they go in and they get the criminal and they take them out and then go ahead and I think that for the most part that they were given due process. Now it's not happening. They're just being warehoused in places. So,
yeah. And folks, you need to be aware that Michael and I do this every week, not to freak anybody out, not to discourage people. We show you these things in an effort to galvanize support for the opposite. And one of the best ways that you can do that is by your spiritual practice. We're showing you things that you don't want to look at, that you don't want for your community, that you don't want for your country.
Right.
If you know what it is you don't want, then you can pivot and turn around and focus on the things you do want and make that the focus of your prayer work, the focus of your meditation, and the focus of your actions.
Absolutely.
So just keep in mind that no matter what it looks like, God is all there is. And it may look like shit right now, but it's going to be all right.
All right. So this week, the boss, Bruce Springsteen, he was in Minneapolis today, but he put out a song here that we're going to play here in just a minute. Jeff, do you have any final comments?
No, I've said my piece. Thank you. For I should probably drop one more F-bomb, but I'm going to keep it for next week.
Okay. Well, now hold it now. Your F-bombs do not accumulate.
Why the fuck not? You set me up. You set me up.
Oh, I did. All right.
There goes one of them then.
There goes one of them. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're going to get off here early here because we have a special for you this evening as we go ahead and we play a song again, that again to honor our brothers and sisters in Minneapolis. This is Bruce Springsteen, the boss, and he's going to sing for us a brand new song that he composed this week. It's called The Streets of Minneapolis.
Through the winter's ice and cold, down to Gillette Avenue, a city of flame fought fire and ice neath an occupier's boots. King Trump's private army from the DHS, guns belted to their coats, came to Minneapolis to enforce the law, or so their story goes. Against smoke and rubber bullets in the dawn's early light, citizens stood for justice, their voices ringing through the night. And there were bloody footprints where mercy should have stood, and 2 dead left to die on snow-filled streets, Alex Pretty and Renee Good. Oh, Minneapolis, I hear your voice singing through the bloody mist. We'll take our stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. Here in our home they killed and roamed in the winter of 26. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. Trump's federal thugs beat up on his face and his chest. Then we heard the gunshots, and Alex Pretty lay in the snow dead. Their claim was self-defense, sir. Just don't believe your eyes. It's our blood and bones and these whistles and foams against Miller and Noam's dirty lies. Oh, I'm Minneapolis, I hear your voice crying through the bloody mist. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. Now they say they're here to uphold the law, but they trample on our rights. If your skin is black or brown, my friend, you can be questioned or deported on sight. In our chance of iced out now, our city's heart and soul persists. Through broken glass and bloody tears on the streets of Minneapolis. Oh, I'm Minneapolis, I hear your voice singing through the bloody mist. Here in our home they killed and roamed in the winter of 26. We'll take a stand for this land and the stranger in our midst. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis. We'll remember the names of those who died on the streets of Minneapolis.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.